Welcome to the video version of the FamilyEddie.com's featured family member. My name is Keith Robinson. I am the founder and developer of the FamilyEddie.com. If you're not familiar with the FamilyEddie.com, we serve as a living record of our family history. And by our family, I mean all those parents, grandparents, aunts, uncles, brothers, sisters, nieces, nephews, all of y'all that are related to me. That's a lot of family. That's a lot of history. So who's included in this family? It's the Robinsons. That's my father's side of the family. It's the Harrisons. That's my mother's side of the family. It's the Rubios. That's my wife's side of the family. It's the Rafers. That's my biological father's side of the family. And it's the Jacobs. That's also my biological father's side of the family. If you are born into this family, you are part of our family history. Over the next year, I will tap into our family history and post videos online to show and to share what our history is about, stories of our family members. The first in this series begins at home with Charity. That's Charity Jackson Harrison, my great-great-great-grandmother. So Charity Harrison was born into slavery in Sun, Louisiana on November 18th, 1839. To give context to this time, the transatlantic slave trade had officially ended about 21 years earlier in the United States in 1808. And she was born 22 years before the beginning of the Civil War. Also in 1839, that was the year of the Amistad Rebellion. Although transportation of slaves were illegal by that time, it still happened. A crew of a ship called La Amistad was famously overthrown by its captors. La Amistad was a world history event, but Charity Harrison is a personal history event. And that's what we're going to share today. This story begins with a genealogical record found in a book called On Through the Years with Abner Jenkins by Doris Holden. Abner was a slaveholder in Louisiana. When his wife, Mary Bennett, filed for divorce against Jenkins, he legally had to document his property. Among his property were slaves, Sarah Moore, which included her daughter, Charity. Other records indicate Sarah was married to another slave named Robert Moore, who was identified as Charity's father. In 1857, at the age of 18, Charity had her first child, Charles Jackson. 2 years later in American history, abolitionist John Brown and some followers attacked the Federal Armory at Harper's Ferry. This event sparked the Civil War. The same year, oil was discovered in Colorado. At that same time, Charity discovered her own black gold in the form of Stephen Harrison. They got married and had 9 more children. They were Joseph, Luke, Walter, Arthur, Robert, Francis, Leona, James, and Eugenia, also known as Virginia. According to census records, both Charity and Stephen were able to read, which was uncommon at the time, and that underscored their strong belief in education. Just a few years after their marriage, they would live through the United States trauma of the Civil War. Faith in God was never far from them, as they became founding members of the Mount Olive AME Church in Slidell, Louisiana in 1870. Records show that as Charity's health began to decline, she lived with her youngest daughter, Eugenia, and later with her grandson, Edward Square. She passed in 1926 at the age of 86. 1926 was also the year that historian Carter G. Woodson established Negro History Week, which later became Black History Month. Charity Harrison not only lived through history, she was history. So if you're a family member, you are part of our history as well. And if you would like to contribute to that history, or if you'd like to see more of our history on the Family Ed Read website, please subscribe at familyedread.com. Thank you for watching.